Hello and welcome to the very first Dota-Two broadcast brought to you by Dota2.com. My name is Zegas.
And I'm WSLK, and I think I can speak for both of us when I say that we're very excited to be bringing you this first commentary. We chose this game. There's quite a few high-level players in it. Loda, Pudge, Hani, Kev, Moods, How Do You Get Sliced, and even Fogged. Let's just jump right into it. On the Radiant team, we have Loda playing Tiny, Pajkat on Weaver, Pep3 on Viper, Hani on Earthshaker, and Korea playing Windrunner.
And over on the dark and gloomy dire side, we got Krang playing Pugna, Kev playing Pudge, Moods playing Beastmaster, How Do You Get Sliced on Lich, Fogged playing that Sniper.
And it looks like the Radiant team is doing a 2-1-2 lane setup. We have Loda and Korea top with the Tiny and Windrunner. Looks like we have Viper middle against Pudge, and then bottom we have Pajkat on Weaver as well as Hani with that Earthshaker.
Yeah, and on the dire side, it looks like they're going with the very common 3-1-1 setup, as they're going to have Lich solo bottom, which is a very strong solo lane thanks to that sacrifice ability and his ability to keep Frostblast mana up. And we have Beastmaster in the jungle, so that's going to make a nice little tri-lane up top where they're going to be able to be very aggressive, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see very aggressive play coming out of this top lane. And over at middle, we have Kev playing that Pudge, who should be dominated by this Viper, I'd say, early on.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like top Loda on that Tiny actually picked up an Invis room, and it looks like Korea's putting out some auto attacks on the Dwarven Sniper. It looks like Loda's going to try and get into position with Invis. He's going to throw out an Avalanche, but it looks like Windrunner's actually going to fall to the combined auto attacks of Pugna as well as the Sniper before they can take out Sniper, and it looks like Pugna's going to force Tiny out of lane after that. I think that was a major blunder by the Windrunner. I think he could have waited 5 more seconds for Loda to get in position with Tiny, and they definitely would have come out with a kill there and avoided Korea dying.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. He's just being a little bit too over-aggressive, I think, and looks like Loda's going to be able to set up a stun onto Krang here, deciding not to stun at that moment. Kind of awkward positioning there, and Krang looks like he's going to be trying to juke to the left there. I don't see how he's going to be able to get out of this one. Deciding to go down into the jungle, it looks like we might be seeing Tango's escape here, but no, really smart play here by Krang, blocking off Loda from being able to auto-attack him, and it looks like Fogged and Krang are going to be able to knock Korea completely senseless there. Really, really smart play there. Really impressive.
Yeah, that was very good, like on your toes thinking by the Pugna by Crane. Very good decision to eat a couple of trees in there to make it a narrow path, so only Windrunner was able to attack him, and Loda with his really high base damage wasn't able to get in there, and because of that, Fogged and Krang were able to take down Korea before he could finish off the Pugna. If we look bottom now, it looks like there was an attempted gank by Earthshaker onto How Do You Get Sliced, but it looks like he was able to notice, and he got out of range of the Fissure with his boots before he could get blocked off. Weavers are really common, long lane solo. We see he picked up that Ring of Basilisk so he can try and do some pushing if the Lich ever leaves his lane. And it looks like Earthshaker's basically just here to pull creeps so the creeps equilibrium is closer to the Radiant Tower, as well as just maybe throw out a Fissure if Lich ever gets out of position and set up a free kill for his carry Weaver top. If we look middle, we see Viper right now actually has double Pudge's creep kills, 16-8. That's, as you said earlier, what we expect. There's nothing Pudge can really do at this point. Unless he's able to get off kind of like a miracle hook into the tower's range. And it looks like Viper's just going to be free farming until then.
And looking at the items here for the Dire, it looks like very standard pickups here, and looks like Mood's picking up the Ring of Basilius to help him jungle that much better. How do you get sliced? I wouldn't be surprised to see him pick up some phase boots just of how good they are on support heroes now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Phase boots are actually really good on support heroes because a lot of people think that if you're a support hero, because you have low base health anyways, and you have generally reduced movement speed, if you get caught by a stun from any heroes from the other team, you're pretty much dead, especially because Lich has no innate escape ability. So the phase boots are kind of like a preventative measure that allows him to not get hit by that first stun, and it affords a lot more survivability than phase boots actually would. I mean, than treads actually would.
Looks like a double damage rune spawning in top lane here, so hopefully we could see some action going down here with Viper picking up this double damage. But looking at the creep wave, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do much with it. Deciding to do a very awkward push here. I'd imagine there it is, a hook from Kev, and Pep is going to go down without any trouble. Really awkward positioning there, I'd say, from Viper.
I think he chose to walk around behind there, maybe hoping that Pudge would still be farming at the creep wave, and it would allow him to get off an orb walk series and maybe get a kill on him. However, Kev was aware that Viper had gotten that double damage rune, and he stayed back near his tower. And Pep really should have walked back around instead of walking past Pudge and that tower. And he really just kind of set himself up there to be hooked by Kev.
You know, how do you get Slices doing a surprisingly good job at shutting down Pashkat's farm? Pashkat just sitting at a mere 15 creep kills in the 5 minutes that this game's been going on. Really kind of bad situation to be in for Pashkat, I think.
Yeah, as we touched on earlier, that sacrifice ability from Lich is just very powerful in laning, with its ability to pull the creeps way back towards your own tower, and that makes it much more dangerous for Pudge to go for a lot of last hits. Lich is just a really good laner.
And top lane looks like it is also being shut down by the Dire team. Korea just having a mere 7 creep kills and 2 deaths, so he's definitely in the negative zone there. He hasn't been able to get boots yet, 6 minutes into this game, and unless something happens mid top lane, we're not going to see any kind of improvement coming out of him, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And it looks like we're going to see a shackle shot from this Windrunner onto Sniper top, a really good stun follow-up by Loda, and it looks like they're going to be chasing this Sniper around, a good toss as well as an auto attack, and it looks like the Dwarven Sniper is going to go down right there.
We might be also seeing Krang go down here, as Krang is deciding to man up and stay next to his Nether Ward, but looks like Moods might be able to actually pick up this kill on Korea. If he throws his axes, she's gone. It looks like Hani's going to be able to stun and save Moods, or sorry, Korea. Really kind of bad play there by Moods, in my opinion. Opting to save his mana than to go for a kill. I mean, that's what your mana's there for, you know?
I think he might have been predicting a juke or something like that and waiting for her to get into that narrow pathway, which he was, and I don't know, he honestly just should have let his axes fly right there. There was really no way that Windrunner could have avoided it without doubling back into him.
Looks like Hani's trying to set up a hook. Ooh, a beautiful hook from Kev, and wow, a long-range dismember. He just dismembered past the fissure there and was able to kill Viper. Viper, again, I think being a little bit too over-aggressive and got himself killed there.
Yeah, it looks like Kev is definitely capitalizing on that early level advantage he got from that kind of blunder from Viper earlier, and it just led to another kill by him. I think this is really bad for the Radiant team, because it looks like, as far as creep scores go, they're riding a lot of their hope on this Viper and Weaver with their really high creep scores, and they're really not investing any farm into their tiny Earthshaker or Windrunner, and they just can't have this Viper dying left and right like that.
I'd honestly start getting scared of how high level Kev is starting to become on that Pudge. You know, Pudge with a good early game is really, really devastating, especially against the amount of squishy heroes that the Radiant team has. Like, Weaver would just drop in mere seconds if...
And it looks like we've got some action top. A quick combo from Tiny and a Shackle Shot, as well as a Fisher from Earthshaker, are going to be able to take out that Sniper. Very good coordination there. It's going to allow a good pickup, almost evening up the score. Now 3-4.
Yeah, this is the kind of aggressive play that they need to kind of see, where it actually pays off and they're not getting picked off, because Korea does seem like he's still pretty far behind, and he definitely needs to get that assist gold.
Yeah, I completely agree. Korea under 10 creep kills still, no boots. actually deciding to go 2 null talismans. I don't know if I agree with that. I think one would have sufficed, and then boots really would be helping him out a lot more right now. Maybe it's because he figures that he's got all the movement speed burst he needs from that Windrun ability. I still like to have a pair of boots by 10 minutes, Windrunner.
Yeah, I'd imagine that he's really relying on the fact that he's able to speed himself up and trying to coast on the fact that he needs more health and perhaps a little bit more base damage so he can actually get that higher creep score. But
yeah,
not sure how well that's going to work, especially with the amount of slow that they have going for them through Beastmaster's Boar or Pudge's Rot.
And as we are approaching this 10-minute mark, let's hit on the items that we have from both teams. As far as the Radiant goes, we've got a pair of boots and a Null Talisman on Tiny. That Weaver, played by Pashkat, we have, it looks like a Ring of a Health and a Cloak, the makings of a Hood, and that Ring of Basilisk that he picked up really early in the game, as long as a Wraith Band. On Viper, we've got Treads and a Vitality Booster, a standard bulky strength build. Vitality Booster, he's going to be turning into a Vanguard soon, I would predict. Earthshaker has boots, and it looks like Korea is sitting on those Tool and Null Talismans from earlier.
And for the Dire team, we got various standard items here. Kev picking up the bottle, and How Do You Get Sliced picking up.
It looks like we've got some action top here. Windrunner running around with a haste rune is going to be able to throw out a shackle shot onto Pugna and a combo from Tiny, but it looks like a really good hook from Pudge is going to be able to save him. And it looks like Tiny's going to be going down. Windrunner running away with that haste, but it looks like he's going to run right into Beastmaster, who's going to be able to auto attack him down.
That was a really good hook from Kev, really saving Pugna's life there. One split-second decision just can save your teammates. It looks like we might be seeing a little bit of action middle, but no, a good fissure from Hani is going to stop Kev from approaching that Viper and being able to put that rod onto him.
And all the while, Weaver has just been sitting alone bottom, farming this entire time. He's now up to only 42 creep kills, still at a big deficit from that well-played Lich early game. I think he's just honestly trying to catch up, and because the rest of his team is doing so poorly, I think they're just putting a lot of faith into this Weaver and the Viper, like I said earlier. So I guess it could be in their best interest to continue farming.
Yeah, How to Get Sliced is doing a very good job of stopping Pashkat. Pashkat's really far behind as far as 12 minutes into the game goes. And hopefully he's going to be able to make a comeback here, as it does look like they're somewhat ignoring Pashkat down at bottom lane, but it looks like we have 3 people heading down there. We might be seeing perhaps a push or maybe kind of a defensive tower there.
It looks like Weaver did just go finish up his Hood. And top, actually, we had a good kill from Sniper on the Tiny, along with the Pugna. I think these 3 heroes kind of rotated bottom. They were going to try and get a kill on this Weaver, but I think Pashkat sensed that because the rest of the heroes were missing on the map, he should really fall back, and it looks like he's just hugging his tower right now, and he has realized that they are probably bottom.
Yeah, especially because of that ward placement right there, they definitely can see that there are quite a few people down bottom at the moment.
And it looks like they're now rotating middle, and it looks like Lich trying to get a Frost Nova off onto this Viper, but it looks like Viper's going to pull away just in time. Yeah, as far as creep score goes, we have Viper at 70 now, and Weaver just coming up on the 50 mark. While on the Dire team, the farm's a lot more spread out, and they have about 20 to 30 on every player besides Sniper at 45. It looks like we have some action at the river. We have Lich running away from 3 heroes, and he's going to throw out a Frost Nova and an ultimate onto Windrunner.
Korea back, man. Korea back.
Yeah, I don't understand why Korea followed there. He didn't have any backup, and he honestly just let Lich auto-attack him to death.
Yeah, it just does not seem to be Korea's day today. Just kind of making misplays just back to back. It looks a really easy pickup there on Hani. Kind of misplaced Hani there, just getting devoured.
Yep, he had been trying to go in and save the Viper as well as Windrunner, but they died a little bit too quickly, and because of that, he was all alone, way out of position and in range for a Pudge hook, so he just got hooked in, and that was lights out for him.
We've got some action top here. Loda being able to put a beautiful stun on the Krang, but does not look like Korea is going to be able to capitalize on that, missing his power shot. And doesn't look like he's going to be able to follow that up. Kev is going to attempt to get a good hook here. They're probably going to go wide, and that they do. And that hook is not going to do anything for the Dire team.
And bottom, it looks like Pudge's trying to push this tower, but a very good TP in from Sniper is going to allow the Dire team to deny that tower. It actually had 2 health left, and they were able to fortify that tower, which allowed enough time for Sniper to TP in and get that last hit.
Wow, yeah, that was a pretty big play. We got some action top. It looks like Kev is going to be able to come from behind the tower and completely knock Korea senseless with the dismember. And Korea does go down. And it's just looking really bad for Windrunner. Like you mentioned earlier, it looks like Pep is going to try to follow up on Kev. Kev does go down to Pep. Are we going to see Pep go down here? No, it looks like he's going to be able to sit in that jungle while Loda approaches the lane with a TP. But no, Pep decides to go back out and gets sniped by Pugna. Pugna is definitely going to be going down here with a good toss from Tiny. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to take down that Lich. I really think that Pep should have just kept trying to juke in the jungle like we saw Pugna do earlier in the match and waited for Loda to get there.
Yeah, major misplay by him. He did have a salve on him, and there was still 7 seconds left of duration, so he definitely could have healed up quite a bit. And I honestly believe that if he had stayed and tried to juke a bit longer, they would have been able to get a double kill on Pugna as well as Lich, and possibly save Viper's life as well.
Just looking at the gold discrepancy here, it looks like the Dire is just over 2,500 gold ahead of the Radiant team, and if you look at the levels, they're also far ahead of the Radiant team. This really puts them in a really bad position to try to recover from this game, especially as it seems that the Dire team is on the up and up with that dust and is trying to make Pashkat's life as hard as possible.
Yeah, especially because the Dire team really does have so many level-dependent skills with the Pugna, the Pudge, as well as Lich, and even Beastmaster to an extent. They really have all of their power that they need right now, and I think they're going to start grouping up and trying to do some pushes. It looks like Lich got off a kind of cute ultimate there on Earthshaker, who was next to a group of neutral creeps, and it looks like Tiny's going to be running away from the pursuing Dire team, and I think he's going to escape. Yep, looks like
Pep does get a dismember onto Pep, and it looks like Pep is going to be going... No, he uses a TP stone, and if Pep did not cancel his dismember, I'd imagine we'd have a very, very dead Viper right about now, but very clever play by Viper, opting to cast that TP stone, knowing that they don't have a stun. They can't stop that TP from happening.
Well, they do have the headshot from Sniper, so I think Viper is actually very, very lucky to be alive, because Sniper actually did choose to max headshot over getting Shrapnel, having a 40% chance on attack to actually cancel a TP. I would imagine Fog got in at least 3 hits on that TP, so very lucky Viper for getting stunned.
The odds were against him, and he made it out. Looks like Fog is going to be easily taken out here, and it looks like they're going to be able to follow it up with a tower kill, judging by how low that tower is. But wow,
actually,
beautiful
a good
hook
by
Kev. Killing that Weaver nearly instantly, and it looks like the Radiant team is going to have to manage a way out of this. Hani going down to those creeps, and Pep just trying to get away, but Beastmaster not giving him that chance, and it looks like that tower is safe for now.
Yep, and this whole time, Windrunner chilling at top, still with those new 2 null talismans. Looks like his teleport scroll was on cooldown, and Tiny was just too far away to help in that fight. I really think the Radiant team is just making a serious amount of missteps, not waiting up for reinforcements time and time again this game. And I think that's really what's costing them all of these kills right now. It really shouldn't be 6-17.
Yeah, you really have to take into consideration the mindset that these players are in right now. You know, they're understanding that they're at a severe disadvantage right now, and you know, it's been shown time and time again, teams that have, you know, gotten into that mindset really start to play badly, and we see a really good pickup on to this Lich kill with a coordinated stun from Hani and Loda. But again, they really need to get out of this negative mindset.
And if we actually look bottom, it looks like Pudge hooks in Viper, and he is going to go down to the combination of Pugna and Beastmaster, who didn't even actually have to use his ultimate there.
Yeah, see, this is when I would have preferred to see kind of a TP bottom, but it looks like they're opting to trade tier 1 towers here rather than supporting their teammate down bottom, and I think that's a kind of a mistake, as they are relying on Pashkat and Viper to really carry them through this game, and if one of them starts doing badly, that's gonna spell defeat for this Radiant team, in my opinion.
Yeah, and now as we are coming up on the 20-minute mark, let's just do another quick item check. Loda on the Radiant team just picked up phase boots on Tiny. That's actually a really good decision. It allows him to get into position better for his Toss Avalanche combination. Weaver, being played by that Pashkat, finished up his hood a few minutes ago, and it looks like he might be going for Radiance or Treads right now. I'm not sure. Viper has Treads and a completed Vanguard. Earthshaker looks like he's saving up for a Blink Dagger, and Windrunner, being played by Korea, has actually just picked up phase boots now.
And over on the Dire side, we see how to get Slice and Crane going that very typical support build, very standard. Fog looks like he is going to be saving up for a S&Y, perhaps, maybe a Geometer's Bane. And Kev looks like he's going to be picking up a Vanguard to stop Pep and Pashkat from doing any kind of damage to him, as their magic damage is somewhat low.
Yeah, the magic damage is relatively limited, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that the Rod Armor is definitely going to be enough to stop the magic damage that's coming out of this Radiant team right now.
And it looks like we see the Dire team is all gathered up bottom, and they're going to try and push in on this second-tier Dire tower. Looks like we're going to have a defense by the Radiant team, too, so this is the first 5v5 of the game, it looks like. However, Viper is still a little bit behind, and it looks like the fight's already started. We have a combination out onto Pugna, but it looks like a good Chain Frost as well as an ultimate from Sniper are going to take out Windrunner and Tiny, respectively. Looks like Pudge is going to be doing some diving, and a good ultimate for Beastmaster is going to catch this Weaver out. Looks like he is going to be able to ultimate and escape, and Pudge is going to go down to a combo from Earthshaker and Viper. But it looks like the tower's already gone, and two heroes are already dead for the Radiant. I think they should really back out right now. And it looks like Earthshaker is going down to some residual damage from Lich and some auto attacks from Sniper. Weaver backing up. I don't think he should go for this kill on Pugna, and it looks like he is going to choose to back out right now.
I don't know if you saw that, but very clutch play there by Pugna, decrepifying himself and essentially saving his life. So really smart play there, and I think the biggest blunder of that team battle was how uncoordinated their initiation was. Windrunner being able to pull off a really strong shackle shot there, getting two of the heroes, but there was no one there to capitalize on that situation. And from there, a beautiful Chain Frost came out of Lich, and a little bit of missed micro happened there and completely knocked out Loda and Korea just from the get-go just because of that Chain Frost, opting to not separate too quickly. And a shackle shot onto Fogged here. Korea might be going down, and he does go down with a very well-placed assassinate, perhaps getting a headshot, if you will.
Yeah. Going back to what you were saying earlier, when they started the fight, actually Viper was still coming back from base.
We have an initiation here on the middle, a beautiful stun from Hani, setting Loda up for that quick stun toss combo.
And it looks like there's a hook onto Loda.
A hook onto Loda, and Loda looks like he is going to be going down here. And
to one last auto attack from the Lich. And it looks like they're just going to separate up middle, and nothing else is going to come. Yeah, the Radiant team really started that team battle with a 4v5 deficit, and I think that, as well as really bad positioning, cost them the fight big time.
That's definitely something that they did not want to happen. I think that they really have their work cut out for them in terms of trying to recover Uh, they're definitely really far behind in the gold count, just under 5,000 gold discrepancy between the Dire and Radiant team. But let's not forget the overwhelming level advantage that the Dire team has right now.
Yeah. As far as the creep scores go now, we have Weaver and Viper sitting right around that 100 range, 90 on Viper and 100 on Weaver. It looks like Weaver's actually saving up his gold now. He has about 2,000 in the bank right now. I think he's probably going to be going for a Radiance right now because his team really needs that damage because, as you saw that last fight, they weren't really able to damage the other team at all. I mean, they were able to delay them with their stuns from taking that tower, but they focused all of their damage onto one hero, and after that hero was dead, the remaining 4 were still at full health, and there was really nothing they could do.
Yeah, I think that was wholly due to the fact that they were able to knock out quite a bit of the team's CC right even before the team battle really began. Loda not being there, along with Windrunner's Shackle Shot, really strong CC abilities there with Stun Toss and Shackle Shot, and without that, they're at a severe disadvantage as really the only other CC they have is Hani.
Yeah, coming back to the game now, it looks like we have a 5-man push up top from the Dire team, and it looks like the Radiant isn't going to try and defend this, just leaving Earthshaker and Tiny to throw some nukes out to kill those creeps and kind of delay their push for as long as they can. And it looks like we have Windrunner coming too with a Shackle Shot, just trying to slow them down while their Viper and Weaver farm up as much as they can. But it looks like Windrunner getting way out of position there is going to allow a good ultimate for Beastmaster onto this Earthshaker who is trying to save him, and it looks like Loda's going to get ultimated as well by Pudge, and they honestly just lost 2 heroes for no reason right now.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the thought process was behind that. They knew that tower was going down. They knew that they were not going to defend it. In my opinion, you throw out a few volleys, a fissure, or whatever that you have, and you get the hell out of there. You don't risk dying and giving them even more gold. You know, they just gave quite a bit of gold out in kills, and even worse, almost the entire team got assist gold for that, which pushed that farm even further than it was before. So if you're going to sacrifice a tower, you should definitely kind of back out and just let it fall and not try to push your luck.
Yes, definitely you have to know when to cut your losses and fall back, and it looks like the Windrunner was just a little bit too eager there, and it looks like we're going to have a hook from Pudge, and that's going to cause Windrunner to go down to a combo right there. Really good hook from Pudge. Looked like Windrunner just didn't know that he was in the fog right there. Kev has just really been on his game this game. He's been making hooks left and right. Very interesting to watch a good Pudge play.
I agree with you. Like I said earlier, if you have a Pudge that is off to a great start, not only are they going to be able to get their items out that much quicker, but they gain momentum because psychologically they're going to be in a really good mind state. They're going to be really confident in how they play, and believe it or not, whether you care to admit it, that has a huge impact on how they play. And as you see, a beautiful hook from Kev, might not be able to capitalize it, but a good how do you get sliced stun with that blink dagger, but it does not look like they're going to be able to take Loda out there. But it goes to show you just how potent a good mindset is when you're playing games.
Yeah, it looks like Viper trying to go on this Pudge with low health, but it looks like he's not going to be able to, and a good Fissure stun going to block off the Pugna from pursuing that Viper. Actually, something I noticed when I had Tiny selected a few seconds ago was that as he levels grow, he actually grows a beard as well as growing larger. The first level is kind of just like a Peach Fuzz kind of thing, and the second one he's got a full-grown beard, as you can see right now, and on the third one I'm pretty sure he gets kind of like an elder, like sage long beard thing kind of going, which I think is pretty badass. Just it shows how much attention to detail that Valve really put into the game, even going into the 3D avatars.
Yeah, it just goes back to that 1,000-year-old argument that, you know, graphics do matter, and I really think that Valve has done a great job with Dota-2 in the fact that they really put really intricate details into their graphical system, and though it didn't seem very impressive when we were watching it on the stream in the international or other YouTube videos that I've seen, once you get in game, it's a whole different experience. The game is just so fluid, and you'll really, really enjoy it when you actually get into the game, and I think that's kind of the huge critical sense there that not a lot of people are able to see the game actually being played. And so they kind of think the graphics look bad, but it's quite the contrary. There's a lot of intricacies that you'd be really speechless when you get into the game and see.
Yeah, definitely. We're now coming up on 30 minutes. Let's just do a quick item check before we get into this next team fight, see if any items are going to radically change what happens. It looks like on the Radiant side, Tiny and Weaver have pretty much the same items. Weaver actually just picking up Sacred Relic, and it looks like Windrunner is going to get out of position there, bottom lane, and he's just going to get picked off by a Kev hook.
It looks like Mood's picking up that big Necronomicon. I've always liked to see Necronomicon just because the amount of things that you can do with that item. Some of the things that I've seen happen are
a good hook from Pudge. It looks like it's going to initiate a fight right here. The Radiant team is now down 2 heroes, but actually Windrunner buying back. And it looks like they're just going to have a little bit of a face-off here. Kev probably going to throw out another hook. Actually hooking this Windrunner a second time, going to give him a second kill onto Windrunner. And a Chain Frost going to chase her down to finish her off. It looks like Pugna decrepifying himself, and he's going to be running away. Beastmaster throwing out an ultimate onto Weaver, and it looks like he's going to go down as well. And
this
it looks
goes
like
to show how significant positioning is, even when you're defending a base tower. It looks like Kev is going to be able to rock down Loda, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Pep go down here as well. Those creeps look like they're blocking Kev's hook, but no, it doesn't really matter. Pep is definitely going to be going down there. You really have to pay attention to positioning when there's a Pudge on the team. You know, one wrong move, Pudge is going to capitalize on it, and he's going to make you pay for being out of position. So when you're defending against a Pudge, make sure that you're out of his range and not in kind of any line of sight to where he can hook you right out of your base and put your team at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, and it looks like he's actually going to get another hook onto this Tiny here, and Tiny's going to go down as well. And it looks like the Dire is honestly just kind of farming the Radiant heroes at this point. It looks like a Nether Blast is going to take out the Windrunner in the Fountain. And
if you look at their HP pools right now, not a single one of them is actually below half health. That just shows you how dominant they are right now. The only limiting factor, I think, is just the mana at this point.
Yeah, definitely. As far as this game goes, I honestly believe that there's really no hope for the Radiant. We actually see them chasing out this Dwarven Sniper right here, but he actually does have Lothar's Edge, which has actually been changed to Shadowblade in this game. They did quite a fair amount of name changes as far as items go. Basically anything that had a name in it, so Lothar's Edge or Kalon's Dagger, stuff like that. The Lothar's is actually a Shadowblade now, and it looks like they're having a little bit of a skirmish bottom lane. I can't see this going well for Radiant, as a good Chain Frost is going to go out, and I think that's going to be doomed for Viper, and it looks like Dire is honestly just farming Radiant heroes now.
Yeah, this has really turned into a one-sided match rather quickly, as now they're just sitting in that well, not being able to push out, and a really comical toss there by Loda, knocking out that how do you get sliced, and you know how do you get sliced, is really pissed off as he throws out that period, and Loda replies with that nice little smiley face, I got you, bro.
Yeah, that was definitely a very cute toss right there, getting that Lich. And I think he rage buys back right now, and he teleported back middle. Yeah, he's already back middle. Really good toss by Tiny there, throwing the Pudge back towards their creeps as Pudge went on him with a haste right there.
Yeah, I don't really think that they really care so much about this game at this point. They know it's kind of over. They really won't be able to push out of their base. The Dire team is just going to keep them turtled in, and it's just really a matter of time for when they decide to push in and just kind of end the game. Yeah, you know, it looks like Beastmaster is popping his creeps right now, and it looks like we're going to be seeing some action here soon. And another beautiful hook from Kev onto Korea. Korea melting away in mere seconds to this Dire team, and it looks like it's going to go a 4v5, and Loda throwing out the really, bro. Really obvious to see that Loda is really, really upset with the way Korea's been playing this game.
Yeah, I swear, Windrunner is definitely going to hook Magnet this whole game. There must have been like 10 hooks on her. If we look at the hero score, she's actually died 13 times doing a bit of feedage. I bet there's some angry chat going on in Allies chat right now.
Really good push stick there from Pugnote, forcing Loda down that ramp, and just got devoured by Kev, and a quick Viper pickup as well. It doesn't... Looks like more of what's been happening earlier. You know, Pashkat also going down to those beautiful Necronomicon play, and Pugnote really manning up and diving Pashkat there.
Yeah, it looks like Kev is going to be diving all the way into the fountain after this Windrunner, and he's finally going to get in range for ultimate, taking the fountain, and it looks like they're going to get that kill.
Despite getting volleyed by the well, Kev, against all odds, gets out of that alive, and here comes another tiny toss. Yes, there is the toss into the well, but it looks like he is going to have to pay for that one.
Well, that about wraps this game up. From now on, Zygus and I plan to bring you guys at least one pro commentary each and every week. In addition to this, we will be bringing you in-depth hero strategy guides. In these videos, we're going to show you how to become better Dota players from start to finish. Lastly, we also hope to create user-submitted top 10 plays in the near future. We'll have more information on that for you guys in later videos.
We plan to keep our video quality at the highest possible, so you'll be seeing full 1080p on every upload. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. You can also catch us on our Steam group, Twitter page, and Facebook page. Links will be in the description down below. You can look forward to our very first in-depth strategy guide on the Fiery Swordmaster Juggernaut, which will be uploaded sometime next week. Once again, this has been Zegas and WSLK.
Ta-ta for now.